Hi, welcome again to another session in this module. Here we are going to be looking at type of charts and visuals again, but this is going to be the third part. We are going to be looking at line charts. Line chart is one of the most common time series charts. Time series charts are those charts that we use to represent changes over time. So, line charts help us to display the trend of a particular value over time. And it is very easy to comprehend and it's a very common chart. So, for example, if by the end of the year, or let's say at the beginning of the year, your manager calls you that, please, let us know how our sales was based on a monthly basis for last year. So how do you go about it? Best way for you to present your finding is going to be through a line chart, because by using a line chart, you'll be able to show the value that the company generates, or let me say the amount that the company generates in each month, and you will see how each of them can be compared with other values. So you can see if the line chart is coming down, it means that the sales of the company was coming down. If it is fluctuating, then you know that the sales of the company is neither going up nor going down. So line chart is very important, and like I said about the column chart, that column chart is one of those visuals that you as a data professional are going to be using severally. So also is the line chart. You are going to be using line charts so many times because they are very easy to visualize, easy to present, and also they are easy for stakeholders or non-technical people to also understand what it is saying. Area chart is also another form of chart which we use to show trends and the magnitude of change over time. And we also use to show the magnitude of, or let's say, the change of composition over time. It is just like an advanced line chart. So apart from showing the trend, it also shows the magnitude and some composition. So it is also easy to comprehend and is a very powerful chart too. So in our practical session, we are going to be looking at how an area chart is different from a line chart and how we can actually use both of them to explain and to present our findings in a more effective way. Now, when we talk about area chart, we have what is called stacked area chart and what is called 100% stacked area chart. So the area chart you are looking here is an example of stacked area chart, whereas the one you are seeing here is an example of 100% stacked area chart. So 100% stacked area chart is used to measure the trend and also the change over time, but we are going to be comparing each of the variables with other ones. So I will not talk so much here, but in our practical session, I will be showing you how this works. And believe me, it might look complex now. It is very simple and informative. Now, this is pie chart. It is one of the simplest charts and is very useful. It is used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is that it is not used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is that it is not used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is that it is not used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is that it is not used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is that it is not used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is that it is not used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is that it is not used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is that it is not used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is that it is not used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is that it is not used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is that it is not used to represent the proportion of a whole. And one of the major don'ts of pie chart is If you have categories that are more than 5, don't use pie chart. Pie chart is best used when the categories is between probably 2 and 4, because if it is too much, if the categories are too many, then it is going to affect the comprehension of the chart. Now let's look at histogram. Histogram is used to demonstrate the distribution of a particular data. So there are two major charts that we usually use for distribution. One of them is histogram. Another type is a box plot, which we are going to be talking about in our statistics module. So with histogram, you can quickly know where majority of our dataset lies and where we only have a very few datasets. So in our practical session 2, we are going to be generating some histograms, and we will be looking at how to use them to understand what is embedded in the data in terms of pattern and trends. Another one we want to look at is what we call scatter plot. It's a simple chart, but it helps us to represent the relationship between two factors, and it's also a common chart. So, for example, if you have a company and you want to know whether increasing the number of customers increases the sales. So we are going to put the number of customers on one side and the number of sales on the amount of sales in the other side. And that will let you know if indeed having more customers on a particular day increases the tendency of having more sales on that particular day. So that is what we use scatter plot for. We use scatter plot to demonstrate relationship between two variables. I will not be talking more about scatter plot here. In one of our practical sessions, I might touch them in one way or the other. Then let's look at tree map. When you look at this tree map, you can see different boxes. The size of each of these boxes represents the proportion or the magnitude of the value in that box is representing. So this is usually used when you just want to have an idea of the best performing features in your data set or the best performing categories in our data set. So like you don't want to look at the individual category, rather you want to look at those ones that are doing well compared to others. And it's usually very useful when you have so many categories. For example, probably you have like 100 different cities where you are selling a particular product, and you want to know in which of the cities do we have the highest amount of sales for this particular product. So you can just throw everything inside a tree map, and you will see that the cities with the highest amount of sales will just come up with the bigger boxes, and you can have an idea that, oh, city A, city C are the places where we have the highest amount of sales, and other cities where there are very few sales will be pushed behind, and it will lay emphasis on those cities where we are having the major sales. But another important is that Another importance of tree map is that we can also visualize another metrics from this particular chart. For example, if we are looking at the tree map on this slide, you can see that some boxes are big and some are small. So the big boxes is telling us where the values are at for that particular category. But at the same time, if you look at this tree map, you will see that each box actually has different color gradient. So this color gradient is also being used to evaluate another metrics. Don't worry, we are going to be looking at all of this in detail in our practical session. Thank you very much. Until we meet in the next one. Your answer is going to be on the best